Welcome to the Town of Avon Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. If you are interested in having a copy of the agenda or the staff reports, they're available to the tables to the right of the audience. This meeting is being recorded for the public record. Because of this, we request that personal conversations are kept to a minimum and all cell phones are set to vibrate with any calls taken outside of the chambers. If you are interested in commenting during any public hearing, please sign up to the sheets located on the tables to the right of the audience. When your name is called, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Please address your comments to the board and not to staff or the appellant. Your comments should relate directly to the case at hand. We do understand that there may be several persons who wish to speak. The chair may therefore impose a time limit for each person. Federal law requires that the town make available to all attendees a Title VI public involvement survey. These surveys are on the table to the right of the audience. Members of the public who wish to complete this survey may do so and place them in the designated area. If because of a disability, any person in attendance needs assistance or accommodation to fully participate in this meeting, please notify staff. Again, thank you for your assistance in facilitating a respectful, fair, and timely meeting. Again, welcome to our meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And can we have roll call, please?
Paul Guckenberger.
Here.
Catherine Ransberg.
Here.
Marcy Tashler.
Here.
Marcus Turner.
Here.
Ann Inman is not here.
First time on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the March 19th, 2024 meeting. Do anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? And if there are none, we'll entertain a motion.
I move we
accept the meeting minutes from the March 19th, 2024 meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals as submitted.
A motion by Mrs. Ransberg. Is there a second?
second.
Second by Mr. Guckenberger. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Meeting minutes are approved. Next item is request for continuances and or agenda modifications. Do we have any? Nothing from staff?
There are none.
Okay. I did have one thing. Ian was our old secretary, so we need to appoint a new one.
Okay.
So I'd like to ask that we add that to the front of the agenda.
I would move that we appoint Paul Lamb. Is that correct? Lambie?
Lambie.
Thank you. Paul Lambie as the secretary for the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Ransberg and a second by Mr. Guckenberger. Mr. Guckenberger, are there any other nominations? And we'll close nominations. All in favor, Mr. Lambie, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We have a new secretary. And I guess we ought to also point out our new staff. Welcome, Linda, our new planning director, and welcome to Paul, our new planner. Moving on to public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? And with no one coming forward, we opened and closed the public comment at 6:37. There is no old business. New business, we have SE 2402. This is Lot 3 Stanfield Crossing drive-through. Staff?
Thank you, Chairperson Turner, members of the board. This is a request for a special exception to allow for a drive-through within Tier 1 of the US Highway 36 overlay. The property is located at 6917 East US Highway 36 along the south side of 36, just west of the intersection with Avon Avenue. It's a little over acre and a half. It's lot 3 in Stanfield Crossing. It's highlighted in blue on the aerial map. It is zone C2. The 3-lot subdivision was platted in 2022 and received final approval in 2023. Drive-throughs are permitted use in C2. However, a special exception is required by the Unified Development Ordinance for properties located within Tier 1, which is the properties closest to Highway 36. Staff does find that all of the required findings of fact criteria for a special exception are met in this case. Let's look at the site plan. It's a multi-use commercial building that is proposed with a drive-through that would be on the south and east sides of the building. See if we can get that to cooperate. All right, there we go. It's a little closer zoomed in look at the property. It does meet all of the UDO requirements for drive-throughs as far as the proper stacking space, the width and length of the stacking spaces, having the proper bypass aisle to get around the drive-through. And also noteworthy, it is to the side and rear of the building, not between the building and US 36, which is not required and would require a variance if that were proposed. Our recommendation is for approval subject to substantial compliance with the design and layout as shown on this plan. I would note that there are a couple of elements that will need to be modified on this plan to meet other elements of the UDO prior to being submitted for development plan review approval. Those items have been discussed with the petitioner and they're aware of the changes they need to make. Just touching on those briefly, they basically relate to landscaping, such as at the top or northernmost row of parking, because there are 15 or more spaces there. They need to have a landscape island that breaks up that row of parking. This plan also is deficient of showing the required foundation plantings that need to go all the way around the building. And the petitioner is aware of that, and we're comfortable going forward with approval today of this plan as it relates to the drive-through, because you're only essentially approving the layout of the drive-through. And it does appear practical that they can update this plan to meet the other UDO elements that it's deficient of at this point as far as landscaping, without having any material impact on how they've proposed the drive-through. So we are comfortable moving forward, subject to substantial compliance with the design and layout of the drive-through as shown on this plan. And knowing that they would make minor changes before they would submit for development plan review approval. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
I don't know if this is a staff question or if this is a petitioner question, but where is the call, or what are they called, the menu and the call pillar on this plan?
So,
Right here.
yeah, Linda's pointing out on the south side of the building there, those two kind of black diagonal lines.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyone have anything else for staff? If not, we're right here from petitioner.
Thank you. David Marks with V3 Companies. I'll be the engineer of record for this project. I was also the lead designer, engineer of record for the overall 3-lot subdivision that was finished last year. Here on behalf of the owner, Stanfield Crossing LLC, and looking forward to hearing any potential comments from the board. Here to answer any questions you may have. The building's roughly a little bit smaller than 10,000 square feet. We show 3 demisings right now, but that's dependent upon lease agreements. They have an anchor tenant, and that's why we're here tonight. The anchor tenant requires a drive-through. So I'll open it up for that after that.
Yeah, before we get into that, let's go ahead and open up the public hearing. It's 6:42. Would anyone care to speak?
No one signed up.
Okay. I will point out, we did have on our desk tonight a letter of remonstrance. And just looking over that real quick, it looks like they're concerned about some drainage issues, which really would not be relevant to our case here, but will most likely be relevant to the Planning Commission's case. So we can either let the remonstrator know that he needs to submit that to Planning Commission, or if somehow you guys can refer it, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's consistent with our interpretation, and we didn't have a email or phone number to reach out to him, but we'll certainly try to do that.
Greatly appreciate it. Okay, we'll close the public hearing at 6:44, and we'll open up to questions.
Is it, do you have drive-throughs on all of the Panera buildings? Because I know that I've been to some that don't have drive-throughs. Is this something new, or is this something specific to this location?
They do have a template. So Panera has, and speaking in lay terms, because I'm not with Panera, but they have updated their templates for their restaurants, and they're going the way of having drive-throughs. Some do, some don't. I think it's just dependent upon the market and what they see fit. But in this specific instance, it requires a drive-through.
Okay.
And just for clarification on Exhibit D, which is, I believe that's what they have up there. The crosshatch areas, that's painting, that's not a curb. Is that accurate?
Within the building. Yeah, it's just to help delineate the building footprint itself.
Or I'm
If
talking about the crosshatching over in the parking area and on the upper right corner of that exhibit right there. Yep, where she's pointing.
Oh, yeah. They can pull people forward from the drive-through.
But
run things
but those
out.
are painted markings. That's
Yes.
not a curb.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So one thing that staff points out in their report is that, and as referred to, the significant items to be addressed in the sketch design here. Are you comfortable with what they pointed out, as well as they indicate too, if any changes would affect the drive-through design, you'd have to come back for a new special exception?
Yeah, we're very agreeable to that. We understand the deficiencies pointed out, and like Mr. Lambie said, they're relatively easy to fix. And we're not anticipating going for any variances as this moves forward related to the landscape ordinance. But should that change, we'll work closely with staff on that. But certainly agreeable to coming back before the board should that layout change substantially, which we don't anticipate.
And it looks like there are 3 entrances to the lot. One on the
Correct.
northwest corner, southwest corner, and southeast corner.
Correct.
And 2 of them give access to the drive-through.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Well, technically all 3 could.
Right, but the one on the southeast corner, you'd have to go all the way around the
You'd
building.
have to go all the way around, sure.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, the primary entrance would be that southwest corner there.
Okay,
with-
and those are actually accessed by, and I don't know what the name of that street will be, but basically a side road off of, not directly from 36, but from a side road that will be built.
Correct. It is built, and it is a privately maintained drive that serves just these 3 lots and then connects to the Circle K property to the east.
Okay,
And so when we platted and planned the 3-lot subdivision, that road went in. The developer paid for that road to go in to serve specifically Lot 3. It's
And
the
you're
only
talking
access.
about the road on the south side of the lot, or you're talking about
Yeah.
the north-south? on the-
Both. If you,
Both, okay.
yeah, the diagram that just got put up shows it comes off of 36 and south and then curves.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And so that's all within a private ingress egress easement for these 3 lots
Okay.
and well, the public too.
Will the drive-through hours be the same as the restaurant hours? Sometimes drive-throughs are open later or,
You know,
Don't know that.
I don't know the answer to that.
Don't know
Yeah,
that.
unfortunately.
okay.
I'll just throw out there, I'm generally in alignment with what the staff report says. I'm glad they laid out the deficiencies and the issue that Paul pointed out about having to come back if there's modifications. This is a really tight site, and I think our scope here is to review the right to have the drive-through, and I'm assuming that the Plan Commission will look at all the technical aspects of it when they get it. But other than that, I'm fully supportive based on the staff report.
I think it meets with everything else. We've had a lot of these waivers for drive-throughs. Maybe that means at some point there needs to be revisiting of what that tier 1 allows, but that's not for us to decide, obviously. But, it's extremely common, more common than not for restaurants, particularly of the fast or quicker food type, to have a drive-through facility. And I don't think it's contrary to what you would see surrounding it.
I think what's being proposed for that lot and with the size of the lot and with the nature of the businesses around there, it matches what's going in there as opposed to being a unicorn. So I think it's a good development, and I agree with what staff has brought up in their report, and I agree with the recommendation to approve this.
And if there's no more comments, we'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve SC 2402, a special exception to allow for a drive-through use in Tier 1 of the U.S. Highway 36 overlay zoning district, since it has satisfied all the requirements for special exceptions under state law and subject to the approved findings of fact.
A motion by Mrs. Ransberg. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mrs. Tashler. Any discussion? And we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Guckenberger,
4.
Ransberg,
4.
Tashler,
4.
Turner.
4.
Thank you. Appreciate the
Thank you.
consideration.
Do we have any other business?
We do not.
Nobody else has anything? We are adjourned. Thank you.
There